Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first ever stream for the S10 T1 R9 Singapore. A couple of pilots going up to out and just Wi-Fi chat talents in Halo in 2 seconds. Are you in? Hang on 2 seconds. Is that better for everyone? Pardon? Yeah, perfect. Everyone is going faster now with the track drying up. I did think it would do. Everyone's getting in their final laps. Cryptic's gone quickest so far by over a second. CJP's on a set of soft tyres. Maybe he will go quickest. He's 2 tenths up on his best time. Sorry, not 2 tenths, 2 seconds. Can you find any more time through the middle sector? He heads under bridge. DRS is enabled as well. That'll give him more of a boost. 6 seconds up. That would put him in the 36s. That would be good enough for pole. But Blond goes quickest. 36.3. $33.9 from Phoenix to put him at the top of the pile. And only one driver left to go round, but Cryptic has backed out of his lap. So that puts Phoenix on pole, followed by Mafio, Pacafan to round out the top 3. And from 4th to 10th, Maldi, CJP, Callum, Blond, Cryptic, Tom, and then Daniel in 10th. Followed by the Aston Martin of Smalden in 11th, Spenny 12th, Daleks 13th, Thai Chad in 14th, Triart in 15th in the Williams, Thalo 16th in the Ferrari, Runner Red in the Alfa Romeo down in 17th, Tom 66 Racing in 18th, and George in 19th in the Alfa Tauri. Only 6 drivers went onto the soft tyres. Everyone else stayed on the inters, and it hasn't really worked out for them. Very tight margins to the top 2, then 2 tenths separating 3rd place. And then from 3rd to 5th is again not even a tenth, half a tenth. And then a couple of tenths down to 6th place, and then there's just a massive gap all the way from there. Over 2 seconds. Give me two seconds. Party. Yep, I can hear. Party audio is on. so it should be. Yeah. Hang on 2 seconds. We are underway in Singapore. Phoenix did get a good getaway. Sorry about that. Didn't quite catch it. Was just trying to figure out a technical difficulty. No one has really moved up, but everyone stayed in the same positions off the line. Kept it clean. No. Cosmic hello. Phoenix has kept a big lead out in front. 1 second. The gap to Mafia in the Haas, which would be good enough to keep Mafia out of the DRS. And when it comes around, still 30 laps to go. Is there anything going to happen in the weather that could mix this around? Everyone in the top 4 on the hards, Callum on the mediums, Cryptic and Blond on the hards, Smalden on the mediums, CJP and Tom N on the hards, Triart on the mediums, Daniel on the hards, Spenny on the hards, Daleks on the softs, the only one on the softs, Runner Red is on the mediums, Tom on the hards, Thigh Chad on the mediums, George on the hards, and Thalo, as I believe, pitted. Must have got caught up on something. 27 seconds behind on the mediums. .133.1 is the fastest lap set by Phoenix. Can anyone beat that on the softer compound tyres? So far, no. No one has managed to beat that. 1.7 seconds is now the gap between first and second place. Phoenix must be having a great time out in front. Ooh, and Mafio did run wide there. I just caught that. I don't know if he got a warning for that. Did obviously go out of track limits, but it is a bit weird on this game. Sometimes they don't give you a warning, even when you go off clearly. I guess we'll find out if he goes off anymore. Nearly 2 seconds is now the gap. Phoenix is just having a field day. He sets a purple middle sector, so he's probably going to set another fastest lap. the highest climber so far on the grid is Triart in the Williams. He's gained 6 places in 3 laps and a bit. As he sets the fastest lap as well by about a tenth. So Phoenix's lap. Him of course being on the mediums and Phoenix being on the hards. .2 seconds, the gap. I think this is now Phoenix's race to lose. And it's a 2-second gap to Maldi. Pakistan just under a second. He will get the DRS on Maldi, maybe to take the podium away from Maldi. Although he could drop out, I'm not sure. There's a bit of DRS just down this straight. He doesn't even have it, and Blond's going to go for the move into turn 1. He gets it done just before the corner as well. And he might be able to close up to Maldi. He was fighting for the win with Sleek in Australia last week and almost pulled it off if it wasn't for the penalties. He gets the DRS on Maldi. Can he close that gap and maybe go for a move and try and close up to Mafia as George gets a 3-second. Only penalty so far within the first 4.5 laps. Mafio's closed a bit of that time down now to Phoenix. It's now under 2 seconds, 1.5, and he's still gaining. 1.4, 1.3. It's continuing to go down. It's now at 1.2. Surely Mafia is burning off the lots. I can hear him.
Wait, let me check. Is my voice low or high?
Probably about in the middle, but
That's good. Okay. Should be good enough.
hang on. If you quickly just take over and I can check.
Will do. Let's look through the good.
Yeah, that's working.
Yup, definitely working.
I've just realised
Anyways,
Phoenix is ghosted. He must have... something happened to him. He must have disconnected because Mafio's taken the lead.
Mafia has taken the lead by a staggering 1.5 seconds. I did not expect that.
Yeah, and now Blond is catching up to Phoenix. I think Phoenix disconnected.
And the margin keeps increasing. It was around 0.9 and now it's around 1.7. This is amazing.
But Phoenix is now back in his car, so will that go back down? Phoenix was 2 seconds up, so can he gain that 2 seconds back? Blond might be able to get in the fight as well, being only 8 tenths back. He will get DRS along this tiny straight.
Blond is all over Phoenix's gearbox. You need to keep an eye out for that. That should be a fight for P2, hopefully.
Yeah. We love to see some action. especially around this tight circuit.
Of course, knowing that this is one of the tightest circuits in the Formula One calendar, with new, I think 16, 17, 18, and 19. Which are now represented by a straight.
Thalo has dropped all the way down to 18th. Of course, he did pit early, but I don't know what's up with him today. Daleks gets a 3-second time penalty.
I really don't think pitting early is gonna get you anywhere around this track with all the traffic.
Yeah.
This is a tight circuit after all.
Yeah, it is very tight. It's probably like 5 after Monaco and Baku.
Daleks, no idea what's happening with him. Looks like he's got penalties and is 8 seconds behind Talo and he's pitted early.
I think he has pitted. Yep, him and Thalo has pitted.
Phoenix is all over Mafio's gearbox, like actually all over his gearbox, 0.3 seconds behind. He's putting some pressure on Mafio.
Oh, haven't even noticed that one. Only two drivers with penalties, and I say that another driver gets one of runner red with a 3-second time penalty.
I mean, it is hard to get penalties around Singapore. There are barely any track limits you can get yourself into.
Exactly.
Some tricky corners, but it doesn't have many track limits, to be fair. And if you do end up crossing track limits, you're probably losing a wing or a front axle.
Yes. Maldi is in 4th. He was second though. No, 3rd, I believe.
No idea what happened with Phoenix, but
yeah, he's
1.8 seconds behind Mafia. Exactly, and Blond is all over. He's ghosted, so I think something happened with him. No idea what though.
Yeah, he probably just disconnected, because that does happen quite a lot in league racing and online racing.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, he would have been on for the win as well. Very dominant in the first few laps.
Maldi behind Robert. I think this is gonna be a good battle for 4th place, hopefully. Hello is decreasing his gap to runner by about, you could say, a second a lap or more.
I think it was
like 2.
I think it was 26 seconds.
Exactly, it was 26 seconds, and now it's down by 9 whole seconds. I think Talo is onto something we did not expect.
Yeah. Well, he might. I think based off of this, after everyone pits, he will be up to probably about 16th. So what he needs is either some rain or a safety car to get him back into the race. Phoenix has joined back,
Definitely.
so maybe he could pull something back. And there's a virtual safety car. I did not even realise. Phoenix's AI was just slowing down.
And he's holding up some players. Phoenix's AI is holding up players. I think he took control back of his car.
Runner Red has pit, Callum's pit, Smolin's pit, Triart has pit. Maybe
It
they.
is a smart idea to go pit under this the virtual safety car. Oh, it has spun.
No,
Probably a collision.
he might have a
No
bit of a
idea.
broken wing. Just trying to get a bit of a camera angle. His wing looks
I don't see
intact.
any broken wing.
And Tom gets a 5 second for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh. Definitely some good racing we're seeing today. This is tier 1 after all. The drivers should be cleaner and faster.
Yes.
Tom right behind Spenny. Car length behind him.
Or maybe he might get the jump on Spenny after the virtual safety car. DRS now enabled and we go green. And Tom gets now a 3 second
Tom
as well.
gets a 3 second penalty.
That's 8 seconds in like one lap.
This is very unfortunate for Tom 66 Racing, the Red Bull 17th.
Yeah.
Thalo has pit again and Alex has pit again. This is very surprising.
sure.
I didn't expect them to pit.
I'm sure they'll be retiring. No. Thalo comes out.
I actually expected Alex or Thalo to retire, but they did not.
Yeah,
They
maybe.
will be racing.
I mean, if they finish the race, they get points, so it makes sense just to finish.
Makes sense to finish, but they are all the way down in 19th and 18th. You could see there's a huge gap between 9th
Hang on.
and 10th place.
A Merc was causing a yellow flag just then. I think there was a spin, maybe.
Which Merc though? Daniel or Maldi?
Daniel.
I think it's Maldi. Oh yeah, Daniel, I mean. He's all the way down in 15th with a 5-second gap to run on it.
My game has now glitched.
There is a bit of racing between Packer fan and Spenny. To an amazing overtake. Spenny goes for another overtake on the Mercedes, which is ghosted. Spenny gets into 5th. That's amazing racing. There's a yellow flag.
Red Bull has retired its Tom.
Oh, down. I think Spenny and Robert are having a bit of connection issues. Some people keep ghosting. Maybe Robert is disconnecting.
Maybe.
He was having a good race. Blond has increased the gap to Phoenix by 9.2 seconds while they were fighting for second place. Quite unfortunate for Phoenix. He was fighting for the lead before his internet decided.
Free up with a
They could lift down the
1:31.9. As I believe Tom's AI did just drive onto the track to retire. I believe that is what many do, but
There is a good fight going on for 6th place between Robert, Maldi and Packer. On a car length behind each other.
three-way fight. Hopefully they keep it clean. Cause no accidents.
Hoping no safety guards.
Yeah.
We are almost halfway through this race.
The biggest climber so far is runner red of 7 positions. With that penalty, we would drop down to 11. Of course, I know it won't finish like this, but just based on it now, was to finish like this now. Spenny leaves. Must have the problem.
I think CJP is making a move on Fanny. Never mind.
Oh, he spins!
Fanny is No! He spins! Holy, he took a corner way way faster than he should have.
I just caught that. But he's now going to lose the
So
place
did I.
to runner red as well.
Goes from fighting to 5th place, but all the way down to 9th place. He's gonna be very disappointed in himself after this.
Yeah, very disappointing. Oh, he nearly had a bit of a moment into the wall there. Just manages to catch the slide. Georgia with another 3 seconds. I believe that is now 6 seconds. Yeah.
How's runner the first?
Who's in first?
Runner looks to be in first for me on the board, whatever they call it.
For me it says...
He's in first.
For me it says Daniel's
with
in
a 0. Mafio's back in first. Oh, Spenny has left. Spenny has left the session. What's happened?
Many connection issues.
That would be very disappointing for the Ferrari driver.
He's joined back now.
4th place. He didn't lose that much time to Robert, who's in 5th place. CJP makes up 3 positions and goes back into 6th place. He's having a good space. He has left again. CJP
is retired.
That is not a good sign. What's happened with him?
I think he just pulled into the pits.
He's pulled into the pits and retired. No idea why. He's making a good run up on 6th place.
I just have to quickly leave the session. If you just give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead. That's both the Red Bulls out. That's very, very, very unfortunate for the team today. Their team principal probably gonna have a word with them. Runner is in first. I have no idea how. He's 54 seconds. Never mind, he's back in 14th.
Thalo has left.
I mean, it's both Red Bulls out.
Yep, no points for them. Of course, Sleek is not driving this weekend, and he has put them to the top of the constructors for Tier 1. That ain't gonna last very long if this keeps happening. Hopefully it's just a one-off.
Very disappointing for the Red Bull team. No idea what's happening with my game.
Blond is just staying 2 seconds back from Mafio. Not looking really to put on much of a threat. I don't believe either of them has hit though. So maybe Blond could get the undercut if he pits first.
Let me check. Detail stops. Yeah, Mafio hasn't stopped. Phoenix hasn't stopped. I think the top 8 haven't stopped yet. Yeah, top 8 haven't stopped.
Although Blond has a massive DRS disadvantage.
I can definitely agree with that.
Mafio's on 73% ERS and Blond is on 44.
I'm having a look at the pit stops. Joe right now in the session, like 20 seconds behind the leader. Well,
I think
he's had one. The Alpha story might be going for something.
I think Phoenix is going to get a position here as he overtakes Maldi into turn 1. Goes a little bit on the curb, has a bit of contact with Maldi. Spenny gets a 3-second time penalty. Maldi's looking for the switchback. I believe Maldi.
You need to leave this session and join.
It's a three-way fight, and it looks like Runner Red might get back into this. From 5th place all the way to 8th place. It's a big fight. Hopefully it's all clean. Oh! Phoenix lost it there. And tapped Runner. But no spinning there, luckily. It was all kept clean. Other than that little bit. This is now allowed Triot to pull away. 8 tenths to Maldi. Maldi will get a DRS now to try and close it out as much as possible. It's not happening. And Runner Red sends it up the inside. Oh, as Mafio has pit, which allows Blond to take the lead. Could that be a mistake by Blond going longer than Mafio? Cryptic has pit as well. And Callum has retired. 3 retirements. And just over halfway of this race. Oh! As Triart into the wall and he is out, and that might be a safety car. So Blond may have just put that into his favour. And I think that is going to be a safety car.
Probably going to be a safety car.
George
I'm very
gets
disappointed
5
with
seconds.
my game for glitching.
It is a safety car, and this has worked out perfectly for Blond, Runner Red, and Maldi, and Phoenix as well, staying out. Well, not so much Phoenix, as Mafio is right behind him, and he has disconnected. But the top three...
Very disappointing.
The top 3 are going to gain off of this, especially Blond staying out 1 extra lap. Causes him now to take the lead and keep the lead.
Unlucky strategy.
Yes, very lucky. I as soon as I said that it might have been a mistake, Triart then crashes. Is it the commentator's curse once again? Hopefully he doesn't get a penalty. He doesn't, luckily. Thai Chad gets a drive-through penalty. Of course he won't be able to serve that under the safety car, which I learnt last year, trying to do that around Japan. Which obviously, of course, did not play off too well. Runner Red has actually pit. I did not even realise. So he will actually stay in second. He just needs to pull a gap. Oh, and he has a bit of a moment there. Into turn 2.
Rex, would you do me a favor and accept my friend request and invite me to the session again?
Yeah, of course. There we go.
Thank you.
This has kind of worked out for Thalo. I don't think he has a penalty. No, he doesn't. So if he can just stay with everyone, he might gain a couple of places due to penalties. of course, Chad with the drive-through, so he'll be up to 13th.
Might be able to gain a couple of places unless the safety car finishes before he is able to catch up.
Only 4 cars with the safety car right now.
And the fifth is following. Say he's getting out of thinner. And we have a ghosted Alpine right behind him. Mercedes, it's Phoenix. I don't reckon he's gonna be doing it.
I think at the moment, Blond is in probably the best position to win this race, being in first with no penalties on the fresher tyres. Then I think it will be Mafio and then Runner in third. That is my prediction. Of course, we could get another safety car. Not, of course, hoping it doesn't happen. But who knows? I guess in F1, anything's possible.
Yeah, there is a very high chance of a safety car right after the safety car restart. People want to be late braking into the first corner, but they end up crashing. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. I think William still has fast stop 131.9. The Williams that DNF 16th. I think his name is Beard instead of 3.
Alex gets another 3-second.
Runner has increased 15 grid positions since the start of this race. Hopefully his penalty doesn't affect his finishing position much. He's able to throw away after the safety car restart.
Yeah, him chasing after Sleek now. There's only, well, 3 full races and the rest of this race. Sleek not racing, which would help Runner close the gap only by, well, if he wins the race by 25 points, which I believe would bring that down to, hang on, I'll just quickly check this.
If we have Halo and Daleks very far away, I don't think they're gonna be catching the safety car anytime soon.
Yes, they need to pick up the pace. As Daniel and Chad in to the pits.
If they do pick up the pace, they're gonna be burning a lot of rubber off these new check the tires. They have both of them, I think. Dano goes for another pit stop. I think he's retired.
He must be retiring. Although, yeah, if he's on the soft. No, he's going on to more soft for 11 laps.
He is not going to be able to do anything. Dano, you shouldn't have done that.
He never really makes a mistake. A very experienced driver. Would not expect that from him.
There's a first time for everything.
Oh, he nearly crossed that line there with one tyre. Manages just in.
Even if he nearly crossed the line, he is 1 minute and 4 seconds behind the leader, who's right behind the safety car. And I think safety car is in this lap.
I think.
Shallow.
I think
yeah,
it's over.
Safety car is in this lap. It is over for Talo, I think. And a miracle happens, and the second safety car comes into play. He has done 4 pits. I need more flat tires.
If Runner Red can win this race, he would bring the gap down to about 50 points to Sleek with 3 races to go.
Interesting. Let's
Oh, and Blond has
see
gone.
some clean racing here.
Runner did respond, but not quite quick enough, as he had a bit of a moment there. Round the final corner, loses a bit of time to Mafio behind and to Blond in front. Oh, Mafio
I'd
also
say
has a bit of a
he
moment.
will
And Mafio gets...
Touchpad has been. I think Touchpad is gonna retire.
I think so.
He has to.
He doesn't. Mafio gets
He's not
past
really
Runner Red
bothered.
into P2, chasing down Blond now for the lead. Blond is a
Runner Red
second
has
ahead.
71% ERS, while Runner Red drops down to 4th after the safety car restart.
Hopefully he doesn't drop down any more, as this is hurting his championship fight. Well, comeback I would say. As Hacker Fan goes up the inside, and that also allows the Mercedes of Maldi to have a bit of a look. Can he maybe have a look around the outside? Runner Red tries to squeeze him as much as possible, has to take a tight line to give Maldi the space. Oh, that was really tight through the left-hander.
Runner Red is going on the inside now, and I think he's gonna
And he
stay
brakes
ahead
early,
of Maldi.
and Tom gets
Never
through,
mind.
and so does Sunny as well. Blond with the
Runner
fastest.
Red isn't having the best safety car restart. He drops down from 2nd all the way to 8th.
Blond is just
Not
pulling
the
away
result
from
he
Matthew.
wants.
Balo though with the fastest lap, and he has closed up a bit of time to Daleks, who's closing up to everyone else.
Blond has been using a lot more ERS than Mafio has been using.
George is in the
And I
pit.
think that George,
I think that might be it for him. I think he might retire. Nope, it might just be a wing change actually, and a 5-second penalty to get rid of.
that is a penalty. I think that's where he'll end up like 45 seconds behind the Alpine and 14th. And he has a very bad pit stop release, which is very sad for him.
And Thalo has disconnected. He was getting the comeback on as Maldi gets a 3-second time penalty. That is not good. He was probably on for a 4th or maybe even 3rd place finish. But he gets the penalty. And Thalo joins back. DRS is now enabled.
Runner Red drops down to 9th instead of being 8th,
And he
is
pits.
now.
Has he got damage, or is this... What is this
I
for?
think this is the end of his race.
I think so. I think he's just given up. No, just a tyre change.
He doesn't give up, and he goes for it. Softs for the last 8 laps. I don't think that's gonna end well for Runner Red.
He might actually be going just for the fastest lap. He kept losing many places, so maybe that's just what his plan is now.
But George can also go for the fastest lap, and especially the people that are all the way in the back, they don't have much to race for, so they can just pit for a soft at the end, towards the end of this race, and just snatch that fastest lap all the way from the run.
What a comeback this would be for Thalo, as he sends up the inside of Daleks. Can he maybe get the jump on Smolden as well? Down
Does
straight, he does. Oh, but he gets nearly pushed
on
into
the
the
outside.
wall.
There's a little bit of contact, yeah.
He keeps the place, but he's burned off most of his ERS. 70% of his ERS is gone. As Smalling comes back at him up the inside. But now that will switch into the inside for Thalo. who just fends him off. Great defending there from from the back of the grid up to 9th. It's a good drive.
Blond keeps increasing that gap to Mafio. They are on very similar ERS. One little mistake for Blond and the win can be gone.
Yeah. I feel really bad though for Phoenix. He's fighting for the win, disconnected, and now he's not joined back. I think he's just given up.
Yeah. Robert is having a lonely race. 2 seconds to the gap behind and 3 seconds forward actually to the gap ahead. He is safely gonna take 3rd position if nothing happens with the top 2.
Yeah. Unless there maybe a late safety car. That could bring it into like some drama. A couple of laps for the win on soft tyres.
A second safety car would destroy Fallow's race as he's done 4 pit stops, I think.
Yeah. Well, I guess then he would then be able to pit for more softs, even fresher softs. So it would
Fresher but used soft.
the gap's kind of just staying the same between Mafia and Blond. Anywhere between 1.7 and 1.5.
You need to take into consideration that Blond's tires are a lap fresher than Mafio's.
Very true. Rhino Red sets the fast lap of 130.1.
Tom in 2004 has to pit probably because he is on 8 lap softs, 8 lap old softs, and these softs don't last long around these twisty corners.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would probably just stay out, because if he stays out and manages to stay with Maldi, he would get 5th place.
Smolden in 10th place has 16 lap old mediums and is able to keep a constant speed to Daleks and is able to defend them all.
Yeah, he did of course lose the battle with Thalo on the fresher tyres, and he's now lost 6 seconds to him.
I just realized that George actually pitted for used mediums. Oh, there's a big moment for Robert. He just slides right into the corner. Oversteer.
I think this might have played perfectly into Blond's hands. Lost the race just by a couple of seconds, and also the penalty in Australia. But at the moment it is looking on for him. 2 seconds the gap with an extra lap on his tyres.
A good fight between Spenny and Daniel. Where Daniel almost overtook Spenny, but then Spenny snatched that position back.
Well, Spenny does have a 3-second time penalty and is very low on ERS. 10%, Daniel on 14%, Tom is on 30, Maldi is on 16, so Tom
goes up to 5th.
Tom could actually walk away from here with a 4th place finish.
He does have 9 lap old softs. I don't think that's gonna end well for him.
Hang on,
We still
am
have...
I seeing rain? I think I am.
Yes, you are seeing rain. You are seeing rain towards the last corner. Is this gonna be a dramatic pit onto intermediates, or are our drivers gonna end up staying out on the slicks?
I thought I was seeing things there, but no, I thought it was just the lights of this track and the scenic area.
There is a slight drizzle.
could that be controversial? And maybe one of the front runners
Smolden
takes
goes
that.
down in the pits on his. I told you he's gonna have to pit.
He's going on to
18 lap
softs.
old. That's gonna be either unfortunate or the smartest play here. He either is gonna take the fastest lap or is gonna slide right into a wall.
I don't think he could take the fastest lap, of course, obviously with it being raining.
Exactly.
But
someone goes off! Oh my gosh, and he loses front wing. Daniel in the middle of the track loses his front wing after a massive spin.
Thalo is now up to 8th.
Safety car!
Oh!
Safety
Oh
car!
my god!
Oh my gosh!
This could come into absolutely anyone's hands.
Is this gonna be a pit onto mediums for our top 5 drivers?
Blond is
or
pitting.
Maybe even the whole grid.
But is it for softs or is it for inters? I think it would be soft, because it's not quite wet enough just yet, but it could get a lot
It's not wet
damper.
enough just yet. Exactly. The safety car is 2 laps, not just 1 lap.
Cryptic
Blond
stays
goes
out.
on to intermediates.
But Mafio does too. Cryptic stayed out on the mediums. That could help
Robert
him.
also stays out. Is Robert gonna be able to the race on his 18 lap old mediums? We have everyone from 2nd position all the way to 9, no, actually 8, even 10th on intermediates, except Daleks, who is still out on 11 lap old medium.
This could be perfect for Cryptic, but it's not. I don't think it will be. He does get a bit of wheel spin, and Blond might now easily just take that from him. I think Cryptic needs to hurry up and get in, because he's not really liking it out there. Keeps having a bit of wheel spins, snaps, and everything. I think
The
Blond
track
and
has
Mafio,
gotten a lot wetter than we thought it would.
I think Blond and Mafio have played this absolutely perfectly.
Definitely.
And Balo might even get up to 7th. Well, Phoenix, being in an AI, did not pit, so maybe the AI knows something we don't. Both McLarens have stayed out, which in my opinion is not the smartest idea. Of course, I cannot test the grip levels, but judging by everyone else on the slick tyres, it doesn't seem to be very good traction.
The floor looks very wet. It doesn't even have... You don't even have to test these grip levels. The floor looks extremely wet with a lot of spray.
Cryptic's not coming in though.
If
I'm
he
sure.
stays out, he's gonna have 2 laps of racing. Actually, 2 laps of racing. And he's gonna have to do them 12 lap old mediums in the rain.
I'm sure the safety car will be in this lap to give us 2 laps of racing action. But I think it's gonna be a good fight in the final 2 laps between Blond and Mafio. Both pit at the same time. No penalties. Of course, every time I've said something, it always goes wrong. I said about the weather, it starts raining. I said about a safety car, and the safety car came out.
I think Daleks is having a huge struggle in this weather.
But it wouldn't shock me, judging by the rain.
He's gone wide and has to brake very early through the corners. Have the McLaren actually botched the race?
I think so, and this is not good for them. I'm sure their TP will not be very happy with their choices, as lots of snaps of oversteer and, well, just sliding for Cryptic, as he's trying just as much as he can just to warm up the tyres.
Daleks almost goes into the wall trying to save an oversteer
Safety car is in.
or understeer. This is gonna be a hell of a lap for both McLaren drivers.
As long as Cryptic can keep it on the track.
Daleks
Hopefully.
is holding everyone behind. This is very unfortunate for him. He is gonna be using overtake for the safety car restart. I think there is gonna be a huge crash into turn 1 involving... Oh my gosh,
The Dalek spin!
I called it! Daleks goes into the wall, straight into the
Oh
wall
no.
after a snap of oversteer.
Cryptic's gone and he's been absolutely swarmed by both the Inter runners into turn 1. Oh,
I think
Mafio runs
Daleks...
runs very wide, and Pakafan's at the inside with contact between Pakafan and Mafio. Blond gets a 5-second time penalty.
Oh my gosh, ignoring the yellow flag, that's gonna be a very sad ending for Blond.
He is pulling away a lot.
Exactly, unless he does put a 5-second gap between him and Mafio. It's already at 3.2, but Mafio is picking up the pace after seeing this penalty and is gonna be putting the pressure all over Blond.
Phalo is up to 3rd. If he can get Mafio, he could be on for the win. Again, as I say that, I said about the penalties between the top 2, and then they got a pen. They got a penalty. Blond needs to gain 5 seconds to Mafio. It's 3.4, so he just needs to gain 1.5.
The McLarens are having an absolute nightmare of a race. We have Daleks in 14th, and I think Riptic has dropped down to 9th after leading this race in the safety car, and now has dropped down to 10, even 11. This is going to be very sad for the McLaren team.
Oh, and he goes round. Well, he manages to save it. Had a bit of some contact there with Smalden. I don't know who is at fault there. Of course, I didn't get to see that one, focusing on the front of the pack. Blond might now lose the race again to penalties.
Spanny might... Oh my gosh, amazing overtake by Spanny over Maldi. Goes into the inside of Maldi around turn 1, and Maldi has a bit of oversteer.
He has pulled away.
He is pulling away. I think Maldi's oversteer was caused by traction control. He didn't have to do a massive correction.
Well, Mafio is gaining on Blond. It's now 3.2. Now up to 3.4. Anything could happen in this last couple of corners.
Tom and Thado having a good ass race.
The language there.
I apologize, but the excitement is getting to me.
Very exciting race, especially with the safety car and the weather. I think Blond is going to finish in first on track. He might be able to get rid of the penalty if he has a clip of anything showing that it wasn't his fault. But I think this is going to be Mafio's win.
If Blond did attempt an overtake on the safety car, it is going to be a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, for sure. But Blond wins on track. Mafio comes across in first, but in second to win the race.
Halo
from penalties.
oversteers into the finish line.
Oh my god. Tom manages to get a P3, Halo 4th, Pakafan in 5th. Of course, he did have a bit of contact with Mafio on the safety car restart. Chad has somehow pulled it back to 6th. From the back of the grid, having so many pits. That was a great last few laps of the drive from him. Maldi in
Halo,
7th, Runner Red in 8th, Smaldin in the Aston Martin finishes 9th.
Halo with the 5 stops still has pulled himself into 4th. This is amazing.
That was a great
But not
comeback.
an ideal night for McLaren.
Yeah, I think not pitting was probably their worst mistake. I think if they have pitted, maybe a podium.
Definitely. Cosmic is probably gonna have a word with them.
Yeah. I don't believe he's actually TP. I think it I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Halo's race was amazing, to be honest. I think he should be driver of the day for this race. He's gone from hards to mediums and to both sets of softs, then goes on to intermediates after 5 stops, starting 16th on the grid and finishing 4th.
That was a
This
great
is
race for him.
definitely worthy, very worthy of driver of the day.
And was only 4 seconds off the lead as well. Of course, obviously with the safety car.
Tom started 9th on the grid and finished 3rd, with Blond starting 7th, finishing 2nd, and Matthew starting 2nd, finishing 1st.
Yeah, it was a good comeback for Blond. Nearly had the win. Of course, gaining 6 places to be up in the first place. But with the penalty finishes with only 5 places gained. So ladies
A
and
lot
gentlemen,
of action.
this is your finishing grid. A lot of pit stops.
See you in the next weekend. Hopefully as exciting as this one.
Yeah, hopefully.